Good afternoon and welcome to the best football show. I am Brian Baldinger, Baldy at Baldy NFL on Twitter and all the social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. I'm out there. You can find this on your free Odyssey app, wherever you get your apps. You can download it, like it, subscribe to it. We're trying to grow this audience. Let's get to it. It's a football Friday. Everybody's excited. The whole country is. College football, NFL. We started last night. in Seattle, San Francisco, Seattle. Divisional game, important game for both teams. And it was largely decided by San Francisco's trenches, offensive and defensive lines, and the quarterback play, Brock Purdy. Seattle lost their third straight game in a row. They're in trouble. Defensively, they're in trouble. Mike McDonald is a defensive – nobody's a genius in this business, but, he was brought in there to fix a defense that wasn't very good last year, and they're not any better right now. San Francisco did pretty much whatever they wanted to do, whether it was Jordan Mason or, the rookie Isaac Guerendo. They pretty much had their way. So let's get to the game. It was in San Francisco. Brock Purdy is just – understand really people that don't want to give him credit for being just a great player. The guy plays with poise. He is accurate. He makes good decisions. The 2 touchdowns to George Kittle last night were absolute dimes. Kittle beats Love for the first touchdown. Literally he throws it. If you said, okay, you got to throw it to a postage stamp at the very corner of the pylon, the front of the end zone, he put it right there. Julian Love was breaking on the ball. Kittle was coming back for the ball. The ball was perfectly thrown. The second touchdown to Kittle over the middle. Zone defense. He's looking right, okay? He's probably going to come back to George because George is going to make a little out-cut move and then come inside and split the 2 defenders in the middle of the field. And the throw was perfect. If it's anywhere else, the ball might get tipped, might be intercepted. But he puts it in a perfect spot. For the second time this year, Brock Purdy threw 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. He's just an amazing player. His ability to run, scramble, extend plays, avoid trouble. There's Patrick Mahomes out there. There's Lamar Jackson. There's some great players out there. And I'm not saying he's any of those guys. He's not the MVP in this league yet. But he has a great ability to extend plays, to run for first downs, to get out of harm's way. He does all those things consistently and then make good decisions, whether it's to throw it away and just get to the next down or to make a great play. He did it all night last night. I know Seattle was playing without Woolen, and Byron Murphy was in the lineup. He's been rotating at defense tackle, but they had pretty much everybody else there. San Francisco went up and down the field. But here's the thing. San Francisco in the third quarter go down and score. Kittle gets a touchdown. They're up 23-3. The crowd is quiet in Seattle, and they kick off, and Laviska Shenault goes 97 yards for a kickoff return. The second kickoff return for a touchdown this year in the NFL. Through 6 weeks so far. And immediately Seattle gets back in the game. They make a stop. They go down and score again. It's 23-17. And San Francisco kind of goes in this lull like they did last week against Arizona, like they've been prone to do. And Seattle had chances. And then, they get a couple of interceptions. The second interception by the rookie Ronaldo Green kind of, killed it. And they went down and, put the game away. Isaac Guerendo runs – for, 70-yard touchdown, 75-yard touchdown, whatever it was, breaks the game open. But San Francisco lets these teams back in the game. They have a hard time putting teams away. It's a concern. But the one thing that's amazing about this team right now is, okay, there's no McCaffrey, but there's Jordan Mason. Mason's off to a great start. He gets a 38-yard run in the first quarter. Looks like he's going to get another 100-yard day. And, he bangs up his shoulder or whatever the injury is. The rookie, Isaac Guerendo, comes in and runs for 99 yards, has a long touchdown run. When he was drafted out of Louisville, he's 220 pounds and ran a 4.39 40. So 49ers draft speed. They draft size and speed at that position. They've been doing it for a long time. And honestly, this rushing offense doesn't skip a beat. No McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, here comes Guerendo. In fact, all of the 49ers rookies last night. You go through the list of them right now. You look at the 49 rookies and what they did. It's a great class. Credit John Lynch and his staff. I know no Ricky Pearsall, but you see Ronaldo Green last night. Ronaldo gets an interception. The 49ers haven't been getting interceptions. Nobody in the secondary had an interception the first 5 games. Ronaldo gets one. Mustafa gets one. All right. Dominic Pooney plays every play at right guard, plays great. Isaac Garendo runs for 99 yards. They just got great production from the rookie class. And then, their stars showed up. I mean, Trent Williams was awesome. You look at 2 throws that Geno Smith made, okay, were both affected by Nick Bosa. The first interception by Mustafa, literally Nick Bosa beats the tight end, beats the tackle, and he's putting a hit on Geno Smith, and he flinches, and he sails the ball over Tyler Lockett's head, and there's Mustafa with the interception. A second play in the third quarter, DK Metcalf, runs a double move on the safety. He's wide open. He's all alone. And, George Odom ends up catching up and, breaking the play up. But Geno Smith can't get anything on the ball. It should be a layup. Just got to throw it to an open patch of grass like DK, go get it. And Nick Bosa is smashing into Geno Smith, and he can't step into the throw. And Bosa did his job. And, Fred Warner forces a fumble, leads the team in tackles. So their stars showed up. You expect that. But the result is Seattle will go off to a great start, 3-0, is now 3-3 and reeling, losing 3 in a row. The Giants spanked them at home last week. The 49ers put up a 34 spot, whatever it was last night. Defensively, they look a mess. They've lost 3 in a row and 2 in a row at home. And the 49ers, get back here to their winning ways after losing 1 at home to Arizona. And they get 10 days off to get ready for the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's get to the game of the week. Schedule comes out in May. I don't think many people thought that Washington going to Baltimore, outside of being a regional battle, was going to be much of a game. Except here comes Jaden Daniels, and here comes Dan Quinn, and here comes Cliff Kingsbury, and here comes the number 1 ranked offense in football, the Washington Commanders, who've won 4 in a row. And literally don't look like they can be stopped. They're the number 2 rushing offensive football. In fact, if you just look at some basic stats, Washington's the number 1 offense. Baltimore's the number 2 offense. Baltimore's the number 1 rushing offensive football. Washington's number 2 offensive football. Jaden's a part of it. Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler, Jeremy McNichols, everybody that's touching the ball right now is running effectively for Washington. Credit some of the decisions in the offseason. Go get Tyler Biadasz for sure. Go get Nick Allegretti from Kansas City. And then you take Cornelius Lucas and you put a rookie out there making his first start, Brandon Coleman. The quarterback helps because he gets rid of the ball quickly and makes smart decisions. And he can get out of harm's way when things do break down. But the line's played very well. Bobby Johnson, offensive line coach, credit Bobby Johnson. Group's playing well. But this should be a classic. I don't think either defense is great, although Washington has played much better in the last 2 weeks. The inside linebacker play of Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu has been very good. They were both great last week getting after the quarterback, in their blitz looks, and they held up on the back end. Baltimore's had trouble in the secondary. Joe Burrow did basically whatever he wanted to do. They put up 38 points. They should have put up more and won, but they didn't. Baltimore's had problems, a lot of problems. I think they missed Jadeveon Clowney. Zach Orr is the first-year coordinator. Everybody, first year anything. There's a little struggle. There's a little learning curve. And so there's some issues there. This should be a great game, though. 2 offenses. I don't know what the overall is. I don't pay much attention to lines and all that kind of stuff. But, I don't know what the over is in a game. But I would lean towards it and go on that side because I think this should be a shootout between 2 offenses. Let's face it. Lamar is in the running to be the MVP again. His performance in Cincinnati was unbelievable. One thing just to watch with Lamar is they'll always show him on the sideline, sitting down. Like that guy is like this. He's just locked in. He's not talking to a bunch of coaches or offensive line. He's not cheerleading on the sideline much. Like he comes off, whatever happens, whether he throws an improbable touchdown to Isaiah Likely or whatever he does. Like he comes over the sideline and he's just I mean, you can just tell he's just locked in. Next series, like he's not out there in la la land. Doesn't stare at a bunch of video. He doesn't do a bunch. He literally gets ready for the next series. No matter what happens to his defense, his job is to go out and score. And I feel like he's in that kind of a groove. Okay, let's get to another big game, and that's in Dallas, where the Detroit Lions are coming off their bye week. All right, they're 3-1. Cowboys coming off a big win at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and here comes the Lions. And so, really, I mean, Dak. If you watched Dak last week, it was just a roller coaster. Interceptions, but big plays, fumbles, but big plays. And at the end, he was really good at the end and made a number of big throws to win the game. I think the throw to Jalen Tolbert was fourth down, fourth and whatever it was, 4th and 4, like makes a great throw to Jalen Tolbert. So, I mean, you got to live with it, I guess. But regardless, he made a lot of good plays. And maybe Rico Dowdle is a better running back than what people think. They lost a number of offense linemen in the game. Backup stepped in. Dallas played without Micah. First game ever in 4 years they played without Micah Parsons and Tank Lawrence, and yet they still played good. But here's the test this week, whether any of those guys, Micah or Tank, go. I don't know what their injury status is on this Friday afternoon right now, so I don't want to speculate. But Dallas has struggled against teams that can run the football. Dan Campbell, he knows this he knows this Dallas defense. He knows that they have struggled against teams that run the ball well, and they're coming in rested. I don't know if Frank Ragnow is going to go or not go this week. I don't know. But, last week, Glasgow went to center. Last time they played, he played great. Regardless, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, it's as good a 1-2 punch as there is in football. And so Dallas is going to get a steady dose of a good offensive line and a commitment to the run. Can Dallas stand up and play a good NFC team and defend the run? They couldn't do it in the playoffs against Green Bay. They couldn't do it a couple weeks ago against Baltimore. You could just find their weakness. It's been a problem. Let's see if Dallas can stop Detroit's powerful rushing attack. And then finally, let's go to Monday night. Monday night up at MetLife Stadium, the Buffalo Bills come in, reeling off a difficult loss to Houston last week. They shouldn't have lost the game. They should have at least gone to overtime and decided it, but they didn't. It was some real questionable decisions at the end of the game against Houston. But the fact remains, they're struggling to throw the ball right now. They're struggling to find that guy when you need a play. The timing with Keon Coleman doesn't look great. Shakir's out of the lineup, looking for a guy. It's not Matt Collins. Dalton Kincaid wasn't great. They look like if you can handle the run game, that you can force Josh Allen to move. Look, guy has thrown an interception. I mean, credit. All right. They're taking care of the football. But I saw some throws last week that could be intercepted if you could pressure them. So, look, the story all week is the Jets firing Robert Saleh. And then the next day after they fire him, demoting Nathaniel Hackett and elevating Todd Downing. Did they have to do both? Well, look, I'm going to leave all the drama for all the pregame shows and all the build-up on Sunday and Monday to the Monday night game because they're all going to address it. And I don't know. I've been in the building this week. I was up there doing some work for the Jets this past week, and I hear different things. And I'm not a reporter. I'm not trying to flesh it all out. Here's the situation for New York. They have played great defense again this year under Jeff Ulbrich. A great defense. And that's without Jermaine Johnson, who's lost for the season, without Hassan Reddick, who they traded for and hadn't shown up, without Bryce Huff, that was, a 10-sack guy from a year ago. Without any of that, they're still playing great defense. Without C.J. Mosley the last 2 weeks with a bad turf toe. It's impressive what they have done. I feel like the Jets can fix their season. And you can fire coaches and elevate coaches. You can do all that stuff. But even if they didn't make any changes, the running game is the worst in the NFL. Breece Hall has run 65 times this year. 31 of his 65 runs have gone for 2 yards or less. That has to get fixed. If they don't fix this run game and you make Aaron Rodgers drop back 108 times like he has the last 2 weeks, they're not going to the playoffs. They're not going to put a win streak together. They're not going to become a winning football team. But I believe that if Monday night they fix the run game, and it doesn't take a lot. Sometimes you got to find 2 or 3 runs that you can effectively run against any look. Run blitzes, slanting defenses, 3-man fronts, odd front, you name it. You perfect 3 or 4 runs, and you get Breece Hall and Braylon Allen going. This thing can turn around real quick. And so I feel like if you want to really look for something on Monday night, look and see how the Jets run the football. And the other thing is, when they have beaten Buffalo, like they did on the opening game of Monday night a year ago, they took the ball away 4 times, including forcing Josh Allen into a fumble that they recovered. But Buffalo's defense is still very, very talented. They will confuse you. They did last week to C.J. Stroud. They are very skilled, and they communicate very well, regardless of who's in the defense and who's playing. They're very skilled. So, to me, the key for this Jets, if they're going to turn it around and they're going to get a bump from the changes they just made, it's got to start with the run game. All right, that's a look ahead to Week 6. It's going to be awesome. I'll be back here on Monday afternoon breaking down, Sunday's action, looking ahead to Monday night. Who knows? Maybe there's more changes in New York before we get to Monday night. Anyways, that's been the Best Football Show. Thanks for joining me. Look forward to talking to you next week, and enjoy Week 6 action.